When it comes to Odoo's CRM app, a lot of the functionality is fairly self-explanatory, but the idea of this series is to point out things that you might not be aware that Odoo is capable of doing. Strap in, let's take a look at some of the more complex functions available in Odoo's CRM app to see how you might be able to tailor it to your business needs and your workflow. I'm El Bristow, and this is Everything in Odoo. Before we start, if you're not already familiar with Odoo or the CRM app, check out the links in the description for our video, What is Odoo? And Odoo's own e-learning courses that gives you the basics of how the CRM app works. I recommend you go through maybe the first few videos to find out a little bit about it, or indeed head over to demo.odoo.com to familiarize yourself with the interface and to see how things work. Also, please take a moment to consider hitting the like button, hitting subscribe to show us that you like the kind of content that we're producing and that you find these videos helpful. Or of course, if you don't like these videos or you don't find them particularly useful, drop us a comment below to let us know what we can do to make these better, because we want to make sure that we're producing content that's useful to the kind of people that want to watch them. When talking about CRM, the temptation would be to refer to any kind of contact that you get from any customer as a lead or an opportunity. And that's fine when you're dealing with one table of information and one set of records. After all, any contact that you receive from any prospective customer is an opportunity. But Odoo has the opportunity to split your leads and your opportunities into two separate groups. In the settings of the CRM app, let's have a look together. We have this option here to turn on leads, which is how Odoo separates the two from each other. What this will do is when an inquiry arrives, it will put it in the lead status. In the CRM app, you get this new menu for leads. These are unqualified leads, leads that haven't been checked for validity, leads that haven't been contacted before, things along those lines. This could be handy if you get a lot of inquiries from different sources, for example, and you want to check how serious the lead is before you try and contact them further through your sales team. Filter out the tire kickers, as it were, before you start raising quotations and estimates and putting more serious labor into your efforts. Once you're happy that a lead, let's have a look at one. Once you're happy that a lead is genuinely interested, Odoo gives you the option to convert it into an opportunity, which is when you hand it over to your actual salespeople to contact them and put together a quote. When you click this, you get a wizard that gives you the option to convert it into a new opportunity or merge it with an existing opportunity. For example, if you get contact from two people from the same company, for example, and they're inquiring about the same thing, you can merge those two leads together into one opportunity. After all, you're only going to sell them the service once. And also at this point, you get the option of assigning it to a salesperson, to a sales team, so that it goes to the right people and the right people know they need to contact this customer. Another feature that a lot of people aren't aware of, and I can vouch for that because I myself wasn't aware of it until very recently, was introduced in Odoo version 17, and that is activity plans. Activities themselves are little reminders that you get in the chatter to remind people to do various different things to do with this particular lead. So here, for example, we have this planned activity, conference call with technical services assigned to Mitchell admin. So this is an activity that Mitchell knows that he's going to need to do, and he can mark it done when he's done it. Activity plans, though, give you a little bit of a templating system that you can use to plan out your workflow. If you have a particularly intricate workflow, or you want to make sure that all the particular steps that you need are followed when any new lead comes in, you can create an activity plan. So here in the activity plans, we can create a new plan which will let us set the steps that our staff need to follow anytime a new lead comes in. So if we call this one, I don't know, onboarding new customer, we can create a list of activities that apply to leads. And that might be an email, a call, a meeting, follow-up, or whatever. So our initial step, for example, might be that we need to call the customer, and we say call to find out the customer's needs. There we go. Assignment, ask it when we launch, or assign a specific user, a default user, which is where this assigned to comes into. We then have an interval. So when we trigger this activity plan, how long do we want to wait, or how long before the plan should this come into action? And we can create a whole list of things here. We can have a call, we can have an email, we can have a meeting, and we can specify all the different things. Email, follow up, meet with customer, and there we go. This is our activity plan. We save this. Now, when a new lead comes in, we can say, I don't know, Steve Smith has contacted us, and in the activity section in the chatter, we have the option now to create activities based on the activity plan. We click this, we can set the deadline for these activities, let's say today, for example, and it shows us the plan summary. We've got a call to find out the customer's needs on the 28th. We've got an email that we need to send them on the 28th, and we arrange a meeting with the customer. I didn't set up the dates, but there we go. And we can say who we're going to assign it to. So we're going to assign this to Mitchell Admin. That's who I'm signed in as at the moment. Let's schedule these, and we can see all of those activities instantly get added to the list in the chatter. So now if I go to my activities in the CRM app, I can see all the activities that have been planned for me. And here is Steve Smith. So I know that I've got something that I need to do for Steve Smith. If I click this, it takes me to the CRM and shows me the activities that I need to do. So a very easy way of making sure that your staff are following a set plan, a set onboarding, or whatever you need them to do when new leads and new opportunities arrive. That brings us on to the third feature that we wanted to highlight, and that is automations. Now, automations are covered by the Odoo learning videos that are available on their website, but we felt they kind of breeze over them a bit too quickly, and you don't really get a sense of how powerful these automations can be. Let's say, for example, that your leads come in via your website contact form. Odoo will create the lead for you, but no one knows it's there until someone goes in and takes a look. We can use automations to make sure that nothing gets missed. So in the CRM app, for each of the columns, so each of the states that a CRM lead might appear in, you have the option for automations. So if we make automations on the new column, anytime a task appears in the new column, it will trigger these automations. So we could, for example, create a new rule, and in here, when the stage is set to new on a lead, we can add an action. So for example, we might want to add a follower so that they know that they are supposed to be following that particular record. We can do that with specific followers. So we want to add the sales director or a sales manager or someone who is responsible for filtering the leads, qualifying the leads before they're handed to the sales team. Or you can also do dynamic followers, which uses a field on the CRM entry to assign who the followers might be. Now, that's of limited use with default Odoo because you possibly need to customize it a bit to add the field that you need to be following to see who the followers need to be. So you're more likely probably to use the specific followers, but the option is there to do it dynamically if you want. So let's say in this case, all sales have to go through Mitchell Admin, all leads have to go through Mitchell Admin. We save that one. There we go. That step is now set up. We then send an email, for example. We choose an email template. Now, we haven't set up an email template, but we could create one that advises the staff member that's been assigned, or it might send an email out to the customer to say, welcome, or we've created a new lead in our system and we'll be contacting you shortly. So we can set that up very, very easily. It's all automated. We don't need to tell the system what to do. Another option is webhook notifications. Now, these are a new feature that was added in one of the recent versions. We might want to send out a ping to another service, maybe something like ifttt.com that handles integrations for us with other systems or handle certain automations that we've got set up in our business. So this will, every time a new lead comes in, can send out a ping to another third-party service and start that automation process for us. Another very powerful option here is execute code. Now you have to be a little bit careful with this one, because this allows you to actually initiate Python code from within Odoo. Now, for example, I've put together a little example bit of code here. If I just paste this in, I've written a piece of Python code that has a look at all the team members, all the leads, and works out who the team member is with the lowest number of leads currently assigned to them, and assigns the ticket to them. So I can, through Python, tell the system to do that. Now, obviously, a word of warning: when you're writing Python directly in Odoo like this, it is very powerful, but it's also very dangerous. Odoo does do some checks to make sure that you're not doing anything particularly dangerous, but other than that, you kind of get carte blanche to change and break anything that you want in the system. If you're not sure what you're doing, probably not a good idea to use this option. However, if you want Glow to have a look for you, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you to code up your automations in a way that we know to be safe. Or indeed, if you want a particular customization made, we can create a custom module for you that handles something very specific that maybe Odoo doesn't do out of the box. So check the links below and get in touch with Glow. One other thing that you might not be familiar with in the CRM app in Odoo is the fact that in the settings, you have the option for lead enrichment and lead mining. Lead enrichment takes the information that you already know about the customer and adds anything that you might be missing. It might be able to find a phone number, an email address, a website address, a company logo, the name of the person that you might want to contact. This is a service that Odoo offer off their own backs. It is a pay-for service. You have to buy credits from Odoo to be able to use this service, but it might help you to develop a half or part lead that you've received, so that you can get that little bit of extra information that might give you the edge in contacting that customer. The other one, the lead mining, is to help you to generate new leads. Now, this is from a database of marketing services that have been collecting information, the likes of Google and things like that. And again, you use credits to purchase this marketing information to maybe generate some leads that might be interested in your service. However, bear in mind, this is going to be cold leads. They aren't expecting your call. So usually you would only want to use this option if you have a particularly good sales team who are good at handling cold leads, cold contacting. The credits cost roughly 20 cents. It's charged in euros because Odoo are a European country. So 20 cents per credit, and each request that you make, whether that's a lead enrichment or lead mining, will take 1 credit. So it's not particularly expensive, and it's an interesting way to be able to enhance the information that you have about your customers and hopefully generate some new income. So there we go. That is a deep dive into the CRM app in Odoo. Hopefully you've learned something that maybe you didn't already know. If you like what you've seen and you want to find out more about how Odoo might fit into your business, then give Glow a call using the links down below, and we'll be happy to discuss how we might be able to help you to implement Odoo into your business workflow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm El Bristow, and this has been Everything in Odoo.